Hello students and other viewers. How are you today? Are you okay? Very nice, my dears. I'm your lovely biology teacher, Mr. Darish, and I beg you to be with me from the beginning to the end of the lesson. You will know a lot and you will enjoy a lot, for sure, my dears. My dear, the topic we are going to discuss today is transport in plants. And the specific objectives of this topic is, at the end of the lesson, students should be able to explain the concepts of the vascular system. And the second one, to describe the components of the vascular system. And also to explain the functions of root hairs in absorption and movement of water and mineral salts in plants. And to outline the movement of water and mineral salt in plants. My dears, have you ever thought on how plants get their foods? Through which way? Thus, my dears, in transporting water, plants normally use xylem tissues. Thank you, my dears. Now is the time for transporting manufactured foods. My dear students and other viewers, the movements of substances through conducting tissues of plants is called translocation. Can you repeat the word, please? Translocation. Very good. Who can tell me the methods used by plants in transporting water and manufactured fruit to all parts of the plant? Who can try, please? Yes, Asma? Try, please. Very good, Asma. Mass flow, we can call it a mass flow. A mass flow. Very good, my dears. Can we clap 3 for Asma, please? Thank you very much. Because both water and mineral salts and manufactured foods move through a specific channel that we call vascular system, made up of xylem and phloem. Through a mass flow, materials move from one place to another due to the differences in pressure exist between the 2 points. My dear students, animals such as human beings use a power from the muscles contractions as well use the forces from the heart to force fluids move from one place to another. So, my question is that the plants do not have a muscles and hearts. Thus, where does the pressure of forcing water and manufactured food come from? Please, think careful, my dears. Then, make sure that you will come up with a good answer. Tell us, please. Very good. Process like transpiration pull, capillarity, and root pressure. These enable plants to transport water and manufactured foods from one place to another. My dear students and other viewers, after explaining more concerning with the concepts and knowledge of transport in plants, let's now move to another aspect which is components of the vascular system. Components of the vascular system. My dears, what are the components of the vascular system? Who can try, please? Yes, Hafiz? Very good. Xylem. And the second one is phloem tissue. So now, let's start with the xylem tissue. My dears, what are the components of xylem tissue? Who can try, please? Yes? Asma? Good. Xylem tissue is made up of xylem vessels, and the second one is Trackheads Elements. Thank you very much. Can we repeat the word, please? Xylem vessels. Again, xylem vessels. Good. Trackheads. Again, trackheads. Thank you, my dears. My dears, both xylem vessels and trackheads made up of hollow and dead cells, and they are all made up of cellulose and lignin. My dears, can you explain to me why dead cells are there instead of a live cell? Who can try, please? Yes, Mahir, try, please. Very good and very nice, my dears. Purposely to increase the efficiency of transporting water and mineral salts without using them. If they are alive cells, some water and some manufactured foods will be used by that cells. For that case, the transportation will be inefficient. Thank you very much, my dears. Then, can you explain to me why they are all made up of cellulose and lignin? Yes, Monali, try, please. Wonderful. It is because of the strengthening and making them so rigid. Again, my dears, an amazing issue is that xylem vessels have no cytoplasm and nucleus. Still, I don't know why. Could you help me, please? Yes? I need your assistance, my dears. Good, Mulhat. Such situations appear in xylem so as to provide enough space to transport large volume of water and mineral salts. Wow! Thank you very much. Thank you a lot, my dears. Now, my dears, is the time for Trackheads Elements. The Trackhead elements have a ending wall with a pointed end, and their ending wall are perforated, my dears. Look at the following diagram, then tell me the most efficient tissue for transporting water and mineral salts in plants between xylem vessels and the trackhead elements. Give a reason, please. Yes? Who can try, please? Very nice, my dears. It is xylem vessels is the most efficient of transporting water and mineral salts than trackhead elements. This is because xylem vessels made up of hollow cells without end wall, while trackhead elements is made up of pointed ends. My dears, after explaining more concern with xylem tissue, now let's go directly to another type of vascular bundle, which is phloem tissue. Let us start with the components of phloem tissue. My dears, now I want to mention the components of phloem tissues. Who can try, please? Yes, Jamila? Try, please. Very nice, my dears. Phloem tissue is made up of sieve tube elements. Repeat the word, please. Sieve tube elements. Good. And companion cells. Again, companion cell. Thank you, my dears. My dears, sieve tube elements are made up of cells that are joined ends to ends. However, the wall of these cells are broken down with the perforation form, sieve tube elements. This cell contains cytoplasm without nucleus. My dears, still I want to know why sieve tube element possessed with the cytoplasm but does not have a nucleus. Who can make me clear, please? Yes? Try, please. Good job. Good job, my dears. The aim of putting cytoplasm within a sieve tube element is to simplify the translocation of manufactured food through the tube. For that reason, food will smoothly passes through the vessels, and nucleus is not found there in order to provide enough space for translocation of manufactured food. Therefore, the translocation will be efficient. My dears, each sieve tube element has a companion cells. They are separated by parenchyma cells with a pore called the plasmodesmata. They are separated by parenchyma cells with the pores called the plasmodesmata. My dears, can you say the purpose of putting plasmodesmata in between sieve tube elements and companion cells? Yes, Zawiya, try please. Well done, my dears. The purpose of putting plasmodesmata in between sieve tube elements and companion cells is to allow exchanging of the some materials between them. Such material is food nutrients. Companion cells provide energies to the sieve tube elements. Now is a time for companion cells. The companion cells have higher quantities of mitochondria, as its name, companion cells. It provides company to the seed tube elements by giving energies, because enriched with the many mitochondria. My dears, after explaining a lot on the vascular bundles, so now is the time for learning how plants absorb water and mineral salts from the soil. Plants absorb water and mineral salt from the soil through the root hairs. These are root hairs, which are large in numbers and are so long and cylinder, so as to provide a large surface area for the absorption of water and mineral salt from the soil. So now, let's look how water absorbed by root hairs from the soil. The root hair cell sap is hypertonic to the surrounding. Hence, so now let's look how water absorbed by root hair from the soil. The root hair cell sap is hypertonic to the surrounding. Hence, water enters the cell by osmosis, while root hair cell is hypotonic to the surrounding. Hence, water absorbed by active transports. Now, let's look how water and mineral salt move from the root hair to the xylem tissue. Movement of water and mineral salts through the root hair or from the root hair to the xylem tissue. My dears, when water is absorbed by root hairs, it causes the content of the cell sap vacuoles to be hypertonic to the cell of the cortex. Therefore, water will move from the root hair to the cell of the cortex by osmosis. Then, water will move the same way into the cell of the endodermis, then into the cell of the pericycle, and finally into xylem. So now, let's move to another aspect, which is movement of water through xylem vessels. My dears, how water moves through xylem vessels? Can you explain how water moves through xylem vessels? Yes, Asma. Try, please. Very good. Very good. Water moves up through xylem vessels by following process. Transpiration pole. All of you say transpiration pole. Good. Another one is capillarity. Can you repeat the word, please? Capillarity. Nice. And the next one is roots pressure. Say again, please. Roots pressure. Now, let's start with the transpiration pole. My lovely students and other viewers, please tell me the meaning of transpiration pole. Yes? Very nice. It's the forces of pulling water created by water loss through transpiration. And it occurs when water evaporates through the stomata of the leaves from the mesophyll cells. As the rate of evaporation increases, the forces of pulling from the xylem vessels will increase also. For thus, water will move continuously from the root hair to xylem, and finally to the leaves. This continuous flow of water is called transpiration streams. After explaining about transpiration pool, now it is a time for explaining about capillarity. What is capillarity? Very good. Very nice. When we are talking about capillarity, we mean that it's the action that causes water to rise up in narrow tubes. Can you explain how it happens? Yes, try, my dears. Well done. It occurs due to the narrowness of the lumen of xylem vessels. The narrowness of xylem vessels will cause water to rise up. My dears, should know that capillarity happens due to the following process. Cohesion. Again, cohesion. Good. And adhesion. Repeat the word, please. Adhesion. What does it mean? Good. It's the attraction between the different molecules. This happens when molecules of water adhere to the wall of xylem while ascending to the plants. My dears, it's your time now. What is cohesion? Yes, try a DJ, please. Wow, good. You tried the best. Cohesion means a force of attraction between like molecules. This happens when water molecules attract each other while ascending the plants through xylem vessels. Thank you, my lovely students. So now, let's discuss about the root pressure. My dears, what is root pressure? Can you try to explain? Brilliant, my dears. Root pressure is the force created by roots that will force water and mineral salts to go upwards from the roots. This situation happens when the osmotic pressure in xylem is higher. This situation will cause more water to move from the roots to xylem. My dears and other viewers, this is the end of our lesson. My dears, today we have learned about transport in plants, then components of the vascular system, then absorption of water and mineral salts. That's all, my dears. So after that, now is the time for the student work. My dear student work, the first question is, what do you understand by the term transport in plants? What do you understand by the term transport in plants? B. Compare and contrast between the water transport system at your home and the transport system of your body. And transport system in plants. Again, my dears, compare and contrast between the water transport system at your home and the transport system of your body and transport system in plants. C. What will happen if all root hairs will be removed from the plants? Again, what will happen if all root hairs will be removed from the plants? D. Mr. Darwish is a biology teacher at Mwanakwenda Secondary School. He decided to conduct an experiment of proving as water really transported by xylem vessels in plants. By taking the potted plants and put in water with the dissolved dyes, he left it for 6 hours. Then he came up with a knife and cut cross-sectionally the stem of the plants. I'm repeating. Mr. Darwish is a biology teacher at Mwanakwenda Secondary School. He decided to conduct an experiment of proving as water really transported by xylem vessels in plants. By taking the potted plants and put in water with dissolved dyes, he leaves it for 6 hours. Then he came with the knife and cuts cross-sectionally the stem of the plants. Question. Tell us what observation was made by Mr. Darwish after cutting the stem. Give reasons from your answer. Tell us what observations was made by Mr. Darwish after cutting the stem. Give reasons for your answer. My dear students and other viewers, up to here I have nothing else to say except thank you for good attention and thank you for cooperation. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.